Welcome back in. Welcome back in. It's your boy Mike coming at y'all, man. Week 4 as we begin to take on the Houston Texans. Arizona, of course, coming off of what ended up being quite a heart-stopping victory against the Colts. They took a huge early lead, we took a huge early lead, and then the Colts really fought back towards the end of the game. But one more final drive sealed the win, and we advanced to 3-0. And of course, this Texans team, the reason that we have our current left guard in Keegan Buchanan, is we had their first round pick, which ended up being number 1 overall after the first season. Ty Davis-Price, as you see, winning Offensive Player of the Week here in the NFC. 17 carries for 190 yards and 3 scores. Slow day for the defense in the NFC. TJ Edwards wins it with 17 tackles. TJ Watt, much like in real life, dominating offenses, 3 sacks and 8 tackles. And the rookie Garner over 300 yards and 4 scores in their victory. We do also have a breakout running back opportunity in this game, and I think you'd be hard-pressed to think that it's anyone other than Ty Davis-Price after his spectacular performance a week ago, and his spectacular performance, quite frankly, to start off this season. He has been absolutely locked and loaded, scoring multiple touchdowns in every game thus far. We also are going to have a quick check-in. Glenn Roberts, man. We are going to preach the team mentality. And Roberts, is in a better space now than he was at this point a season ago in his rookie year from a team perspective. He hasn't been turning the ball over as much, and he's been, less working with the less is more approach, doing what's asked of him, not trying to overexert himself, and do things that he's not yet comfortable with. But let's take a look, man, at some of these Texans players. Dameon Pierce, now in his 4th season. In real life, man, he has not been good this year. He's dealt with injury, lack of a really good run blocking offensive line. But here in our franchise, man, he is their workhorse. 87 overall. You see 95 trucking. Just a very, very strong player. Someone that could certainly prove to be an issue if our guys aren't able to wrap up today. So we'll hope that we'll be able to keep him down. And defensively, Will Anderson now in year 3, and he's beginning to, blossom there as one of the linchpins on this defense. Still just 23 years old, and he's just been getting better and better. Still not a force against the run in the way that, they were hoping he might be, but his moves off the edge have begun to become a little more clean, sitting there at 82 finesse moves. We know what his speed looks like off the edge, so certainly going to be a handful for whichever tackle has to go against him. And then Derek Stingley, who in year 4 you would think would be the leader of this DB room, but that is not so. He's actually their number 2 guy. And much like we were talking about Pierce in real life, Stingley in real life is just on an absolute heater these last few weeks for the Texans, man. Just caught 2 interceptions in their game against, who did they just play? Oh, wow. Completely lost my train of thought there. I don't remember exactly who they played, but he did catch the Broncos, caught 2 interceptions. But he's joined by the rookie number 1 overall pick, Raekwon Robinson, who currently sits at a 79 overall, superstar X Factor, 6'3". And man, you cannot teach that kind of length. He was the consensus number 1 player for quite a while, ended up going number 1. And, him and Stingley are kind of opposites in that he's more of a zone player, while Stingley is much better as a man-to-man press corner. But Raekwon Robinson, one of the few things that he struggled with coming into the league was just his ability to fight those receivers off at the line of scrimmage. How about Isaiah Simmons? Now, 27 years old, and he has never become the star, the superstar that many thought he'd be out of Clemson. Of course, one of our former players, we traded him to the Giants prior to the beginning of the franchise. Well, in real life, he was traded, but he still brings an element of speed and cover ability from the linebacker position that's really hard to match. And at 6'4", 238, he'll be able to match up with our tight ends, our running backs, and also have that sideline to sideline range. Now, CJ Stroud, year 3, 80 overall. And you want to talk about someone who has blasted through the door of expectations. CJ Stroud in real life this year has performed as one of the top couple of quarterbacks in the NFL, and this is with a banged up offensive line, a lack of a true number one target. A lot of these things, running game is really shaky behind him, but he just gets things done, and he'll be looking to get things done this time around as well. Has enough speed to navigate that pocket. Doesn't have a howitzer of an arm, but is certainly capable. But he will have to do it in this one without his premier left tackle Laramie Tunsil, who is out with a ruptured disc. 94 overall, still just 31 years old. Feels like he's been in the league forever. And, he's a very good run blocker, but he is an elite of the elite tier of pass blockers. And they're going to have to figure something out because we know how dangerous our two edge rushers can be with B.J. Ojulari and Cam Thomas. And as we head into the game, look at that. Ty Davis-Price getting another shout out for his performance last week, 17 for 190 and 3 scores. And with a defensive front that is not overly imposing. Yes, they do have Will Anderson, and we spoke about Isaiah Simmons and how, speedy he's able to be, how physical of a player he is. But in the interior of that offensive line, they're not great. Defensive line, sorry. They're not great. They certainly have their strengths, but I think that with the strength of our offensive line, we've put together a pretty good one now at this point. I think that we'll have a big emphasis on the run game once again, especially with those two lockdown corners on each side. Also have Jalen Petrie in the back end, who's become one of the best young safeties in the league. And I think that this will be a very exciting game between two young teams, man. Let's go ahead and meet the rest of the Texans roster. CJ Stroud, of course, at quarterback. Damian Pierce going to be the lead back. Tevin Porter and Ty Ferguson, both rookies from a season ago, are going to back him up. John Lovett, the fullback. At receiver, Tank Dell, man. Prayers up for Tank Dell. A gruesome injury. He was having a spectacular season, showing that he should have been one of the first receivers off the board. But they're going to have Sterling Shepard and John Mechie as well. And then KJ Hamler, one of our old receivers from last season, man. He did a really good job filling in when we needed him. And then Xavier Hutchinson providing some size there. Dalton Schultz and Ben Silverman, the tight ends. At left tackle, you got the rookie Anthony McKee filling in for Laramie Tunsil. McKee, someone that we thought about drafting, but ultimately just didn't think that he was good enough, quite frankly. Damian Lewis at left guard, Lloyd Cushenberry, the center, Shaq Mason still over there, the veteran on that line, with Titus Howard at right tackle. Defensively, you got Bryce Huff screaming off of one edge alongside Will Anderson. Defensive tackles, Trey Tutt and Malik Collins, going to be the main go-to guys right there. Tyus Bowser offering another edge option. Isaiah Simmons and the rookie Pat Stewart going to be doing the main work there at middle linebacker. And look at the speed of these guys, man. 93 and 91. DJ Wonham, another edge option. Raekwon Robinson, Derek Stingley, and Emmanuel Mosley going to be the top three guys there. And they have another rookie down there, Broderick Day, who should see a couple of snaps here and there. Jalen Petrie at free safety, and then at strong safety, the rookie Will Blanson. Man, they got a really young defense, a really young and up-and-coming defense. Kevin Snowden, the kicker. Andrew Kaiser at punter. And here we are, Arizona getting the ball first as things are set to go. Antonio Gibson back deep to return. He's going to take it out. Has a little bit of space. Tries to put a shoulder down. Makes it just past the 20-yard line down to the 21. And here comes Arizona's offense. Glenn Roberts through the first 3 weeks of the year. 40 of 75, 524 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. And keeping those turnover numbers low is something that we put a big emphasis on for him coming into his second season. And we think that it's something that he took very seriously. He saw what this team was able to do with Josh Dobbs, the less is more approach. He's going to drop back first play of the game, looking for Rashad Bateman, pass knocked away there by Derek Stingley. Really good coverage there. And it was a good throw from Roberts. Now a 2nd and 10, flipping the play around. Roberts going to turn around and hand it off to Ty Davis-Price this time, and Davis-Price has some room. See, the offensive line opened up a pretty big hole there, so now a fresh set of downs at the 33-yard line, 1st and 10. Antonio Gibson now into the game, and he is going to go ahead and get this carry, and again, great blocking developing up front. Nearly just had a pretty long run there. Gain of 17, though. And we're already into Houston territory after just a handful of plays. As here's Ty Davis Price. No room for him there on the left side. Hit down at the line of scrimmage. So it'll be a 2nd and 10. Here's Roberts, going to be looking to make something happen here. Trying to go deep for Chase Claypool. That was an aggressive throw into double coverage. Raekwon Robinson getting his first bit of action here on the game for the Texans. Now 3rd and 10. Roberts unloading one deep for Trey McBride. He splits the linebacker and the safety, and he is into the end zone for the touchdown. And Arizona strikes first on a 3rd and 10. Did you see Trey McBride there, man? Putting the moves on him. On a 3rd and 10, Trey McBride just found a soft spot there in the coverage, was able to get to a place right where he knew Roberts could put it on him, and he's going to pretty much walk that one into the end zone. Really good job from him there to be able to use that speed and power Arizona into an early lead. Now here is C.J. Stroud, another young quarterback on the other side of things. And through the first 3 games, they're 1-2. He has 459 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions, averaging about 1 giveaway a game. And we'll hope to be able to keep that trend going. If not, maybe improve upon it a little bit. But here we go, 1st and 10. Stroud going to drop back on his first play of the game. He has Dalton Schultz, who is going to eventually be brought down after a gain of 8. Cam Wilhelm, one of the first Cardinals on the scene. Now 2nd and 2. Here we go. You got Dameon Pierce lined up there in the backfield. Got to keep an eye on him at all times. But he fakes it, and he's going to get one there out right side for Sterling Shepard. Close to midfield there, down to the 48-yard line. A 14-yard gain there for Shepard. And one thing that we certainly were preaching to our cornerback room coming into this game, as you see Stroud connect there again with Shepard, hit down by Zaven Collins, is not to let the diminutive stature of their overall receiver room, kind of get in the way of knowing that these guys are all still, NFL level players. You got 3 slot receivers essentially as the top 3 guys on this offense, as Zaven Collins bursts through the line and forces the fumble. The rookie Denario Stewart there to clean things up for Dalton Schultz. And that's going to be a 17-yard loss for the Texans. And then on 2nd down, not much going as that defense blitzed very quickly. 3rd and 27 now. Here's Stroud trying to run around. He's going to uncork one deep, and what a throw from Stroud. Andrew Stinson there all the way, but that was almost a gorgeous throw, man. Fortunately, defense able to keep that one from getting completed. Ty Davis Price going to get a nice carry of 12 here on their first play of their 2nd possession. Now 1st and 10. Here's Roberts, and he's going to look across the middle for Rashad Bateman. Stingley was there in good coverage, but Bateman able to adjust and get that ball, bring it in for the 1st down. Now 1st and 10. Here we go. Roberts going to fake it to Ty Davis Price. Has some time. Has a man across the middle looking for Elijah Higgins, and he did have a step. Roberts just not quite able to get it where he needed to, so it'll be a 2nd and 10 now. Davis Price going to get the ball again, just a gain of 2 there. So now on a 3rd and 8, they're going to send Antonio Gibson out of the backfield. Line him up outside. You see no one's covering him up, man. Something to keep an eye on, as here we go, 3rd and 8. He's going to go underneath to Rashad Bateman, and it looked like Antonio Gibson motion was just a bit of gamesmanship there from Arizona's head coach Mike White. Now 1st and 10 again. The fake handoff to Davis Price, and Joseph Osai was all over it. Read that from the beginning. Roberts a little slow to get up, and their first sack of the game results in an 8-yard loss for Arizona. Now 2nd and 18. Roberts looking, and he's going to go right across the middle to Trey McBride with Isaiah Simmons standing in front of him. Not sure what Roberts was looking at there. Trey McBride was covered up entirely by Isaiah Simmons. You see that he's standing directly in front of him. Just a mental error by Glenn Roberts, not something he's made a whole lot of so far this season. But the first turnover of the game will give Houston the ball back with a chance to potentially tied this ball game up, or at least minimize the deficit a little bit. But as I was saying, though, about those slot receivers, man, Tank Dell is 5'10". Sterling Shepard is 5'11". John Mechie is 5'11". KJ Hamler is 5'9" or 5'8", But these guys, as Jalen Thompson nearly takes the ball away, but does force another Texans punt. Very, very quick possession there for the Texans, not taking advantage of the interception, as here's Antonio Gibson, not going to have a whole lot of room there. Going to actually only get 4 down to the 24-yard line, and 2nd and 6, which should be the last snap here of the first quarter. Roberts going to have it, and he's going to look for Antonio Gibson. He had pressure in his face, but he does complete it to Gibson. Not quite there to the sticks. It'll be 3rd and inches coming into the second quarter. And after one, it's 7-0 Arizona. Houston not really up to snuff offensively so far to start this game. But here we go, 3rd and inches. You see they got 7 in the box. They're going to hand it off to Davis Price. And they're going to say that he doesn't get there. And I'm pretty sure he crossed that first down line. We are going to challenge. Definitely wasn't a good spot of the ball if they're saying we weren't picking up that first down. And after review, they are going to uphold the call. That is interesting. Certainly did not expect that to be the case, but 4th and inches, they're going to go. Here's Roberts trying to hand it off to Ty Davis Price. He does, but Davis Price is met immediately by DJ Wonham. They said no Malik Collins, no problem. Wonham gets in there very, very quickly, and after a turnover on the last possession, it'll now be a turnover on downs, and the Texans with an opportunity to really make this interesting here in the first half. As what a spin move by Tank Dell, who loses the ball by the hit by Lewis Cine. Fortunately, a Texan is able to cover it up. Only a gain of 11 there after the large yards lost on the fumble. So it'll be 1st and 10 now in the red zone, and he's going to have a man right side. It's Sterling Shepard again. 3rd catch of the game here for Shepard. It'll be a 1st and goal, as you see the Texans moving some things around, and they're going to hand it off. No, they're going to fake it, and he's looking left side for the second-year tight end, Ben Silverman. Interesting decision to throw it his way with Andrew Stinson all over him. Now 2nd and goal. Here we go, going to the empty look. Stroud putting one up there left side, and Amani Harris, he didn't really do much. Stroud just threw it out of bounds, but good coverage there. So 3rd and goal, trying to hold this team to a field goal at best, and Cam Thomas does just that, combining with Eric Armstead to bring down C.J. Stroud, and the Texans would be forced to settle for a field goal. We spoke about how dominant these edge rushers can be, and Eric Armstead adding to that right there with the sack of Stroud, and it'll be a 7-3 ball game here. So now Arizona back with the ball. 8:01 to go here in the second quarter. The play action fake. Roberts going to air one deep looking for Rashad Bateman, and he does find him. A gain of 28 yards there downfield. Another big passing play from Arizona has them set up already across into Houston territory. And on first down, they're going to hand it off to Davis Price, who has about 3 there down to the 45-yard line. Good tackle there from Will Anderson to impede any further progress from Davis Price. Now 2nd and 7, the fake from Glenn Roberts. Roberts rolling out, trying to find Elijah Higgins, and again overthrows him. But again, really, really good coverage there from the Texans. So now on a 3rd and 7, here's Roberts. He's going to get the snap. He's looking. Had Rondale Moore coming wide open across the middle, but decides to air one up to Rashad Bateman. Pass is knocked away, and they'll send Cameron Dicker out there to attempt a long 62-yarder. He's hit so many big kicks for us in the past, and he does another one here. A 62-yard field goal right up and right down the middle, and the Arizona Cardinals back up 10-3. Now, next possession. Here we go, Houston. Two tight end look, two receivers right side, Pierce in the backfield, and they're going to give it to him. Lewis seen there to lay the boom, drops him after a gain of 7. And man, one more extra block could have seen Dameon Pierce take that one to the house as 2nd and 3. They're going to hand it off to Pierce again, and this time he is stuffed. So it'll be a 3rd and 1. And Houston, man, last thing you want to do is have a quick 3 and out after already going down. But here we go. Stroud was pressured. Ojulari was right there, but Sterling Shepard there on the quick dump down will extend the drive. And Houston now a fresh set of downs, 4:46 to go here in the first half. Here's CJ Stroud going across the middle of the field for Dalton Schultz. Schultz breaks a tackle. Schultz breaks another tackle. Jalen Johnson couldn't bring him down. And into the end zone walks Dalton Schultz. A long touchdown pass, or a long touchdown catch and run there from Dalton Schultz, or from Stroud to Dalton Schultz. And that's now both tight ends in this game making really big plays, with their after the catch running. And Schultz also showing off the strength there. Wow, talk about a tongue twister. Schultz showing off the strength. Okay. But it'll be a 10-10 ball game, man. In a first half that we feel Arizona's thoroughly dominated now sits at a tie ball game. So it'll be 10-10. Here we go. Davis Price getting a little bit more work, and he's up to now 41 yards. Still pretty shy of that 200-yard mark that he's looking for that breakout chance. As here we go, right side for Trey McBride. Roberts 6 of 12 so far to start this game off. They're going to hurry things back up to the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 5. Roberts pointing some things out. They're going to hand it off to Davis Price again, but he's going to be hit quickly, just a gain of 1 there. So it'll be a 3rd and 4 now. Time continuing to tick away. And they're going to hand it off to Antonio Gibson, who outraces one, makes a move, makes another move, and he's open. He has wide open space. Antonio Gibson into the end zone. No one's going to catch him. A 62-yard run there by Antonio Gibson. And look at the way that this blocking developed. Really good blocking up front. Gibson makes a move and then gets to the next level and outruns a diving Texans defender to get into the end zone. Wish that would have been a Ty Davis Price run, but we will take the points. Antonio Gibson really with a nice bit of momentum change there on the long catch or on the long touchdown run, as Dameon Pierce out of the backfield has a gain of 42 yards down to the 33-yard line. You see Cam Wilhelm nearly makes it over there just outside of his outstretched arms, and then Lewis Cine not able to bring him down. And a big play, or one play after a big play from Arizona, Houston now on their own end of a big receiving play. Now left side here, Schultz again, and Schultz and Shepard have been the reliable two so far for the Texans. So a 2nd and 1 now. You see they're moving into that bunch look. Here we go, looking right side for Dalton Schultz. Loses 1 there. Good coverage from Zaven Collins. And now 3rd and 2. Going back to that 2 tight end look. We'll see what they decide to throw at Arizona this time. 3rd and 2. Here we go. He has a man. He's looking for Pierce again on that same route, but Jalen Johnson intercepts it. Manages to get past Stroud. Unfortunate that he wasn't able to outrun the offensive line there, but we won't complain, man. Jalen Johnson, you see, play starts. He's not really sure where his man is. He sees him, and Stroud just not enough loft onto that ball there. Jalen Johnson, or Stroud also with the saving, positioning. He didn't tackle him, but he got in the way of Jalen Johnson, and him having to do that move really made things change up. And now, fresh off the interception, Rondale Moore, wide open, corner of the, not corner of the end zone, maybe edge of the end zone. Rondale Moore, though, touchdown, Arizona, 1 play possession, and ball don't lie, man. Jalen Johnson was supposed to get into that box on that interception, but he doesn't make it. Instead, Rondale Moore pays it off. Emmanuel Mosley not able to hang with him there. Just the speed and quickness of Moore showing off. And they're up 24-10 now with 1:15 to go here in the first half. He's going to hit Dameon Pierce out of the backfield, and they're going to hurry things up here. 2nd and 1. They do still have all 3 timeouts, and they do get the ball at the half. So could be an opportunity for the rare double dip, as on 2nd and 1, he's looking left side for Tank Dell. Amani Harris having none of it, able to get in there and contest that ball. So now with 3rd and 1, they're going to have 2 receivers on each side. Dameon Pierce again coming out of the backfield. But look, it's a wide open Sterling Shepard. Jalen Johnson, I don't know how he let him get behind him, but one possession after a spectacular interception, he allows Sterling Shepard to use those burners, or whatever you want to call them, that Sterling Shepard has. Gets behind him, and he catches the ball, does the rest, runs it out. Jalen Thompson also just not quite quick enough to make it down there. And a long Texans touchdown is how this first half is going to end. The Cardinals on top 24-17. 125 rushing yards for Arizona to just 15 for Houston, but Houston with a +100 advantage in the passing yards department. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on around the league here in week 4. You got Seattle still looking for their first win in Carolina, up 10-0. Bryce Young just 1 for 3 for 20 yards and a pick in the first half. Interesting. Jackson Smith and Jigba getting into the end zone for Seattle. A divisional game, Green Bay in Detroit, and they're currently trailing 13-0. And you see both young quarterbacks for these teams not really having spectacular games, but the rookie Yates for Green Bay certainly doing enough with his team in the lead. 28-7, San Francisco in Indy, and you see Brock Purdy 6 of 7 for 128 and 3 scores. McCaffrey 6 carries, 113 yards and a touchdown, and they're just not able to keep up with the offensive firepower that San Francisco has on their team. They weren't really able to deal with ours, and San Francisco certainly has a wealth of weapons there offensively. So we'll see if Indianapolis is able to make that one into a tighter ball game down the stretch. But moving back into our own game, currently up 24-17, and the Texans, as mentioned, are going to get the ball first out of the second half, and they're going to start with a run to Dameon Pierce, and we're all over it. BJ Ojulari there off the edge very, very quickly, losing one there for Pierce. Now 2nd and 11. Here we go, 3 receivers one side. Lewis Seen in there to lay the hit. Gain of 8 for Pierce, but it'll be a 3rd and 3. And if you're a Texans fan, you don't want to see a 3 and out quickly here. It's been a back and forth contest, and here we go, 3rd and 3. It will not be, as Silverman able to hold on to the ball there for the first down. They're moving now at the 38-yard line, going to the I formation, and Pierce going to get it up the middle. Cam Wilhelm, way to go, way to attack the middle of that offensive line, gets through, drops Pierce for a gain of 4. Now 2nd and 6. Going back to Pierce, and Pierce again not really going to have much space to speak of. Cam Wilhelm in there once more. Gain of 2 there for Dameon Pierce. Now 3rd and 4, going to a 3 tight end look. And you see, here he goes looking again across the middle. It's Dalton Schultz once more. You see Cam Wilhelm for the second time this game nearly getting back there in time to at least disrupt that pass. But again, Stroud with perfect elevation on that throw, able to connect with his tight end. It'll be a 1st and 10 now, and they're into Arizona territory. As here we are, Stroud dropping back, looking left side for Tank Dell. Has him again, gain of 4. See, Amani Harris been doing a pretty good job working against Tank Dell over on that left side. Now 2nd and 6, Dameon Pierce has it, and Jaron Curse there to knock him down, but he is going to move those sticks. So it'll be a 1st and 10. You see they're back to a bunch look on the right-hand side. Here's Stroud looking underneath, has a man. This time, John Mechie catching his first ball of the game. For a 2nd and 3, they're inching very, very close into the red zone now. 2nd and 3, here we go. Has a man. It's Sterling Shepard. And Sterling Shepard, man, he's been catching pretty much everything. Been a very consistent target for C.J. Stroud so far throughout this game. And he's going to look for him again. Jaron Curse. No, he was looking for Dameon Pierce on that one. Curse, though, looked like he might have had that when they ruled it out of bounds. And we see that right foot certainly came down. That left foot, though, think it might have been a little on that line, and I don't think that it would have been clear and obvious enough to overturn. So we're going to let things go now, 3rd and 10. As here we go, Zaven Collins lets one slip through his fingers, meaning the Texans will be able to get a field goal. Not what you wanted if you're Houston, but certainly you got to call that a win for your defense if you're Arizona. As here's Ty Davis-Price. Look at that, Davis-Price getting those legs churned, and he says Antonio Gibson's not the only one who can make a big run. And the biggest run of the game for Davis-Price gets them down to the 24-yard line. And after just one carry here in the second half, Davis-Price at 93 yards on the game, and just 107 now away from potentially breaking into the rankings of those X-Factor players. He would certainly deserve it. Now 1st and 10. Here we go. Roberts going to hand it off. No, he's going to keep it himself on the read option. He's going to try to cut it upfield. Probably should have slid there, but luckily holds on to the ball. It'll be a 2nd and 3 now at the 17-yard line as he's going to air one out to Trey McBride again. And McBride fighting through traffic into the end zone for the Arizona touchdown. Definitely did not think he was going to be able to fight through all of that to get in. Thought we were going to have to, maybe power it through with Davis-Price there close to the goal line. But no, McBride catches the ball, has quite a few Texans defenders in the area. His 2nd touchdown of the game now puts Arizona back on top by 2 scores at 31-20. You see Eric Armstead breaking that, getting off that block very quickly, bringing down Dameon Pierce for a loss of 2. They have not been able to find a rhythm with Pierce so far on the ground. Now 2nd and 12. Here we go. Pierce remaining in the game. They're going to hand it off to him again. Not sure how smart that was, as Juan Drummond drops him for another loss of 2. And now 3rd and 14. You see they're shifting some things around, going to 2 receivers on each side. Pierce remaining in the backfield there. 3rd and 14. Here we go. Looking deep for Sterling Shepard again, and he has him again. A 48-yard bomb to Sterling Shepard down to the 32-yard line, and Jalen Johnson is having an interesting day, I'd say. Does have the pick that led to one of our touchdowns, but he's given up play after play after big play to Sterling Shepard on that right side. Might be something you got to take a look at as far as adjustments go. And now Pierce with his biggest run of the game, Jalen Johnson in there to bring him down to the 12-yard line on his 12th carry. And with 35 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter, the Texans are marching quickly as here we go, gonna have a man. It's Sterling Shepard. Man, stop me if you've heard that one before. But that is going to bring the 3rd quarter to a close. 332 yards through the air for the Texans. And Arizona, once again, pushing close to that 200-yard mark on the ground. So here we go on the 2nd and 4, I formation. Stroud going to hand it off to Dameon Pierce. Pierce, again, not going to have much space to work with, just a gain of 1. 3rd and 3 now, and you really want to get them off the field if you're Arizona. You've held them to field goals on multiple different occasions, and this time it won't happen. Dalton Schultz, not to be outdone by Trey McBride, gets in for his 2nd touchdown of the game, and I thought that Jalen Thompson might have been able to turn around and snag that one. Instead, Stroud, once again, just a perfectly placed ball. Lewis Seen wasn't quite able to get there either, so it'll be 31-26 with a 2-point attempt coming. Stroud has it looking, and Cam Thomas knocks that pass away intended for Dalton Schultz. It'll remain a 5-point game here as Arizona gets the ball back on offense. And they're going to start things off with a give to Ty Davis-Price, who cuts it inside. That defensive line was definitely ready for the stretch, but they left the middle of the offensive line pretty open. Ty Davis-Price took advantage. Now 2nd and 3. See 2 tight ends back on the field. They're going to give it to Ty Davis-Price. Davis-Price has a hole, has the space. He's being chased, and no one's going to catch him. The rookie safety Blanton was the last one who had a chance. He won't do it. Davis-Price into the end zone, and this running game continues to power this offense, man, in the early going of this season. Davis-Price continues what could be an MVP caliber type of year. His First touchdown of the game, but well over that 150-yard mark now. And with not a whole lot of time to play, again, we could be seeing a superstar X factor in the making. It's 38-26. So now Houston back with the ball, start things out with Dameon Pierce, who has some good blockers ahead. Got in front of his last man. Could have been a much longer gain there, but it will be a second and inches. You see Arizona looking like they're showing some pressure. Stroud going to drop back and has a man right side. Guess who? Sterling Shepard. Jalen Johnson, man, got to get him some help over there. He is not having a great performance, all things considered. But the rookie George Cage getting back there to make sure that he doesn't get too far. Pierce is going to be injured on the play as well. And you see him now on the bench, just a little demoralized, having to come out of the game, which means it'll be the second year back in the game for them now, but he's not going to get any run yet, as Dalton Schultz with yet another middle of the field catch. And between him and Shepard, man, they have been absolutely giving it to this Arizona defense. Now 1st and 10, and here we go. Had Mechie, Stinson all over it, able to hit him and knock that ball free. Not an angle that you want to take too many hits from there for Mechie. As here we go on 2nd and 10, it's Schultz again. Doesn't matter who it is. Zaven Collins, Cam Wilhelm, Lewis Seen, Jalen Thompson. Just no success here against Dalton Schultz, man. Who knew that Schultz was the next coming to Travis Kelce? 1st and 10 now. 3 tight end look. And here we go. Stroud has a wide open man back of the end zone. Touchdown, Texans. It's Ben Silverman. That is now their 3rd touchdown coming from a tight end. 2 for Schultz and now 1 here for Silverman. And you see they had 1 safety back, just kind of lost track of where he was responsible. Jalen Thompson not covering his zone like he needed to. And the Texans are within a score again. As you see, Davis Price up to 167 yards on the game. They have a 5-point lead with 8 minutes to go, starting from their own 25-yard line. Got to make something happen here, man. Last thing you want to do is give a hot Texans offense the ball back, and he's going to start by trying to swing one to Davis Price, but overthrows the swing pass, man. Can't miss that throw in that spot. Now a 2nd and 10. They're going to hand it off to Ty Davis Price. Davis Price not quite able to find the space, just a gain of 3. And on 3rd and 7, looking to keep this drive alive. They have taken quite a little bit of time off the clock. Roberts has a man wide open. Trey McBride. Jalen Petrie was covering him. McBride did have a step, but Roberts, another overthrow, means they'll punt it away. And Houston now has an opportunity to take their first lead of the game. That is a loss of 2 there for Dameon Pierce, who is back into the game. 2nd and 12 now, under 5 minutes to go here in this ball game. He's going to look deep, trying to find Sterling Shepard again. Jalen Johnson, fortunately, able to break that one away. So on 3rd and 12, keep an eye on Dalton Schultz. We have Jalen Thompson on him this time. Don't want to let him get too much. And instead, they're going to go to John Mechie. And Mechie has space. Lewis Seen there, able to bring him down. A 54-yard catch and run from Stroud to John Mechie. And man, just the big plays that this defense has allowed all day to what is not a star-riddled receiving core by any means, just not okay. And they're already down to the 20-yard line in the red zone. 1st and 10. They're going to hand off. No, they're not. They're going to fake it. BJ Ojolari was there to hit Stroud down, but Stroud was just barely able to get that pass away. It'll be a 2nd and 10 now. Going back to that 2 tight end look. Here's Stroud under pressure. Cam Thomas getting back there. His first true full sack of the game. Now up to 1.5 on it. And man, what did we tell you, man? Cam Thomas just becoming just a playmaker before our very eyes, someone that teams have to certainly game plan for when they're taking a look at this defense. So a 3rd and 21 and the opportunity to potentially put a sealer on this one. Here's Stroud looking middle of the field, wide open again. Oh my Lord. The fact that CJ Stroud was able to get that pass away is insane, man. Just brilliance from the young quarterback. And Tank Dell there for the short reception left side for the first down. It'll be 1st and goal now, just ahead of that 2-minute warning. Here we go. Stroud has a man right side wide open. Touchdown, Texans. Sterling Shepard, his 2nd touchdown of the ball game, and they are just doing whatever they want on the offensive end. Just no answers from this defense. Not sure what's going on. The offensive line isn't great. They haven't really had much of a running game, but Stroud has picked them apart at every turn. And now they're going to go for 2 to potentially make this a 3-point game. They already missed 1. Here's Stroud rolling right, has a lot of defenders giving chase, and they do bring him down. B.J. Ojulari means the Texans will have a 1-point lead as we get past the 2-minute warning, 1:58 to go, 3 timeouts, and you're going to have some type of offensive movement on this possession. And they're going to be gifted a free timeout and a big part of the defense for the Texans leaving the field as Stingley is down on the play. So it'll be a 2nd and 10. Here's Roberts trying to air one up deep for Rashad Bateman, who had a step, and Roberts just continues these mind-numbing overthrows. So it'll be a 3rd and 10 now as Roberts again airing one deep for Claypool, who has no Texans around him, and Chase Claypool by himself on the left sideline, his first catch of the game, down to the 41. A 36-yarder there for Chase Claypool. So now 1st and 10, bringing Rashad Bateman across the formation. Looks like they see something they like. They're going to hand things off to Davis Price, but Price is going to lose 4 there. Man, Joseph Osai all over it. His 2nd tackle for loss this game. So now a 2nd and 14. We'll see what they can make happen. Texans looking like they're bringing some pressure. Roberts under center. They are bringing it. He has a man, Claypool, and Claypool again, a big catch, big stiff arm, big broken tackle down to the 35-yard line. And after using that first timeout, 20 seconds to go, they're going to go ahead and hand things off to Davis Price, make it just a little bit easier for their kicker, Cameron Dicker. And Ty Davis Price runs it down to the 20-yard line. They'll call that that 2nd timeout. And here's Dicker on to attempt the 37-yarder. Of course, D'Amico Ryan's going to go ahead and ice him. But we know, man, Cam Dicker has ice running through his veins. Already hit a 62-yarder and now a 37-yarder for the win. The kick is up. The kick is good right down the middle. And an incredibly shaky defensive performance bailed out at the end. And D'Amico Ryans is not happy. Their team, this Texans team, man, they put up a fight. If it wasn't for a slew of missed 2-point conversions for them, a couple of drives that, were stalled out in the red zone, this could have been a very different conversation. Glenn Roberts, of course, bailed out by his running game, a little bit by his defense, with Jalen Johnson getting a key turnover at a big spot in the game. And the Texans, 537 yards of total offense, just 63 of those on the ground, nearly 500 through the air, and 271 rushing yards for Arizona. 1 turnover apiece for these teams. Texans going 1 for 1 on 4th down while we missed our 1, and each team a little over 50% on 3rd down. As you see, CJ Stroud, man, 29 of 42, 503 yards, 5 touchdowns, and a pick. Glenn Roberts, 10 of 22, 203, 3 scores and an interception, but just not happy with the way that he performed today. You cannot overthrow and miss some of these passes that are just so routine. Ty Davis Price is going to fall short of his goal, going 15 for 181 and a score. Antonio Gibson, 4 for 83 and a touchdown. And again, man, if that long Antonio Gibson run had been to Ty Davis Price, we would have been talking about an X-Factor player, but not going to happen this time around. As you see, Sterling Shepard and Dalton Schultz, 10 and 9 catches respectively, 198 and 129 respectively, 2 touchdowns apiece. Even John Mechie getting in on the action. Trey McBride leading our receiving core, 3 for 71 and 2 scores. Just 3 catches for Rashad Bateman. Two huge catches from Chase Claypool at the end of the game, and Rondale Moore's only catch, of course, going for that touchdown after the Jalen Johnson interception. Lewis Cine and Zaven Collins leading the way with 7 tackles apiece. A bunch of guys with 2 tackles for loss, including Joseph Osai, who also added a sack. And we see Cam Thomas, Zaven Collins each getting at least 1 sack there. Jalen Johnson and Isaiah Simmons snagging interceptions. And we forced 2 fumbles, weren't able to recover either one. And of course, Ty Davis-Price not going to go ahead and pick up that X-Factor development. Whole team gets 2,500 XP for the win. And that means we are 4-0 heading into a big Week 5 matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles. Philly, of course, we're 0-1 against them in the career of head coach Mike White way back in season 1 towards the end of the year. We had a 2-game slide to the Bears and the Eagles. And it wasn't, a blowout on any side, but Philly definitely had control of that game pretty much the entire time. We took a loss there with Josh Dobbs under center. So now Glenn Roberts going to have his opportunity to get his head coach another fill out something else on his bingo card, man, taking down Philadelphia. And as you see, man, if you take a look at these 2 squads, very comparable now. Arizona maybe even a very slight edge from a team building composition, but it'll certainly be a challenge. Philly is a team that has a superstar quarterback, has 2 game-breaking receivers, actually 3, but we'll get into that one in the next episode. Dallas Goedert, we know how good that offensive line is, and that defensive front is one of the most lethal that we've seen in a pretty long time. And the Niners picking up their 3rd win of the year. They're 3-0 outside of their Arizona game, still just 1 game behind us now. The Seahawks picking up their 1st win of the year. And next week, we're going to see who we have as this breakout DB. Also going to take a look at what we plan to do against Jalen Hurts, man. But as always, thank you so much for tuning in. I really hope you all are enjoying season 3 so far. I know I'm having a lot of fun with it. Be sure to like and subscribe should you feel so inclined. I hope y'all have a great rest of y'all day, and peace.